Right, YouTube land, welcome to another video. This should probably be the last one of the year. I know I haven't seen a lot of you lately. There's been no new videos lately, but there's a good reason for that, and that's because I've been doing a new job. I've started a new job about a month and a half ago, and that's, well, it's not just a new job, it's probably a new career. So I've been quite tired with that because I've been working more hours and for less money at the moment, so who's the fool there? But yeah, it's quite exciting, and it has absolutely nothing to do with my old career, so that's been taking up a lot of my time, hence no new videos. Right, so update on the Clodbuster. We're out with the Clodbuster today. Here we go. Here is the Clod. As you can see, it's got a brand new shell on it, and it is a Joy Concepts F250 shell with the racer back on it. So I thought I would put that on it to save me ruining the ABS one, which I spent so much time in painting and putting the stickers on. And if you've ever built a Super Clodbuster, you'll know that those stickers are an absolute pain in the backside. A couple of mods to this. We're going to go through them now. Apart from the new shell, I'm going to show you a couple of things. Let's take a look. So first things first, we're outside here in the wilderness, well, just down the road actually, but we're outside just to give things a bit of a run. As you can see, we have the J Concepts F250 shell, and if you may or may not know, as you can see, if you're totally familiar, the bonnet height is similar to the bed height. Now a lot of you will know, if you're a Clodbuster owner, that the bed on the original shell is a lot deeper than the bonnet on the original shell, so you know that the body posts are to suit. So I had to fit this, in order to fit this, to make it look alright, I had to fit new body posts. So what do you do there? Do you spend more money, or do you improvise? Well, I made my own. Having only just bought a 3D printer, I thought I would just simply design and print my own body posts. So I did exactly that. So here you can see these pyramid style body posts, nice and chunky, with a 7mm diameter on top, and they are all the same height, and they mount in exactly the same point as the original posts do. Also, they are in line with the original posts as well, so there's no they are, the pitch of them, the pitch of the posts are the same as the original posts. So finish aside, which isn't the best, but they do the job and they're nice and sturdy. This is actually the second set. The first set I printed were a little bit I printed them the wrong way round basically, so I did a wheelie, I popped a wheelie, the back of the shell hit the deck and basically tore the tops of the posts off where the body pins, where the body clips sit. So this is my second attempt. I've printed them in another direction and they should be a lot stronger now. Second little thing I did, and lots of you have probably done something similar in the past, and that is to facilitate, obviously the LiPo pack sits in there, there's no plug that comes out like an old NiCad, but to facilitate to make it easier which terminal goes in which hole, I just put a little red washer on there, a little red shock spacer, shock O-ring on there, so I know that that's red. So I could just plug it straight in and not have to worry about any of that. And another mod I've done on my Clod is to do with the steering. Now a lot of you being Clod owners, a lot of you Clod owners out there will know how baggy the steering is. And I was completely unaware of this when I bought the car. But I read a couple of things and they said that the steering's a bit poo, basically, is to put it mildly. So having driven it a couple of times, the front and the rear were exceedingly baggy, and there was pretty much no consistency. So you could just like throttle it and just let the thing do its thing and bounce everywhere. And bar going servo on axle, which I don't really want to do just yet. I want to enjoy the pureness of it all. I've made a couple of adjustments. First things first, as you can see, you may not be able to see, I've taken this link from the, it used to be on the, let me just zoom out a sec, because there we go, see it a bit more. Right, so this link used to be on the top of this bell crank here, and used to have the spring with a nut on the end. What I've done actually is I've actually moved the spring underneath the mechanism. As you can see here, at the bottom there, you can see the spring. Let me just turn it around so you can see it from underneath. Don't even know where I'm looking, the sun's in my face. There we go, look at that. There's a spring underneath there with the adjuster nut. And that is actually a different spring because it's an 8mm diameter spring. And it's what we call like a tooling spring. My previous life as a precision engineer, I was surrounded by big thick springs that we use for tooling. So I got one of those, drilled it in half, and stuck it underneath. And it is actually a little bit firmer than the standard spring that is in the kit. And what this does, it just basically, where I found that the rear of the car steered while you were going forward and the front stayed still, with the standard spring, the front was exceedingly baggy and the front wheels would just move around like wiggly whenever you put any kind of steering input in. So I have stiffened the front end up and I don't get that problem so much, and I will show you that now. As you can see, a tiny little steering mod offers a great deal more feedback, well, a bit more stability at the front there. You can see it's not so baggy, as I like to call it. So all in all, definitely loving the new mods that I did to the Clod. Well worth doing, and they cost me absolutely no money at all, so that's always a good thing, right? Free mods are good mods. So chuff with a steering mod, that's really handy. That's something you guys out there can use. And if you can, for the tooling springs, they were about 8mm diameter, something like that, and you could probably find them somewhere like Cromwell Tools or somewhere like that, I should imagine. So if you fancy that mod for nothing, obviously it's nothing for me because I had the springs kicking around in my toolbox, but if you fancy the Clod aesthetic, the original Clod aesthetic, don't want to go servo on axle, but you want a bit more steering, then that could be a little mod you can do at home for not much money at all. So there we go. So then guys, it's not just a Clodbuster I've been busy with the old 3D printer. I've also made a couple of bits for the old Big Brute as well, if you remember that good old boy from earlier on in the summer with that video. Still making some views there. I'm quite pleased with that. So yeah, let me just show you what I've done with the Big Brute. So the first and the most obvious thing I've done to this are the roll bar mounted spotlights on the top of the roll bar here, obviously. As you can see, they are not the white items that are in the kit. These are 3D printed in black ABS. Now, as you can see, the infills have been painted silver. I tried to print some lenses, but that did not go according to plan. So I just painted them black. And obviously, the first thing to hit the deck when this thing rolls over is the spotlights. So I thought I don't want to really ruin the kit ones because they're probably very unattainable, very difficult to get hold of a new set of those, so, or practically impossible. So I designed these myself. They are based on the original shape. As you can see, they are not far off, probably millimeters, but they are based. I designed those myself on the CAD system and I printed them off. So if you do actually want a set of 4, give us a shout. We could work something out. DM me on my Instagram, which is crazyl13. That will pop up there, maybe up there in a minute, in that corner. Anyway, yes, so if you want a set of those, give us a shout And the other thing is a little bit more important, and that involves the back of the truck. Why are we looking at the back of the truck? Well, on my Big Brute video, on the 80s promo one, which I did a few months ago, there is a chap who commented, actually, a little while ago, a couple of weeks ago. He said, "Too bad the drive shafts are weak as hell," or something. And I said to him, "Glad you like the video." Anyway, so yes, the drive shafts. After much ado, I found out my drive shafts were actually very thin on the ends, where the actual drive splines are. They were almost gone. So I thought, why not make my own? So I did. These are, again, based on the original Kyosho items. They are actually slightly altered to suit my own design, but they are also reinforced as well, so they don't just shear off. And to prove how reliable they are, obviously these have been in air. These have had a solid hour run time. No, they've had a half hour on the bench at full throttle, 20 minutes around the back garden, which is a grass, so that puts a bit of effort onto them, onto the bit of stress onto the gearbox, and also another half an hour out in sand. But here we are, out on some tarmac. I'm going to drive it around for you briefly, just to show you that they work. Now these have had quite a little bit of a run on them already, see these drive shafts. So let's take a look. Don't know if you'll be able to see it, it's the sunshine. Right, so if I tilt it this way actually, so the sun shines on them. Right, as you can see, the finish on them is not the best. It's a little bit ropey, you could probably always sand them down, but so far so good. So that's had over probably about an hour and a half now of runtime under that one pair of drive shafts. They are in black ABS. What I have done though, I've also printed them in a clear, which came out more of a white. But this is my own design. I drew it up. It's basically based on the original Kyosho one, but as you can see, these have not been used in the truck yet. But if anyone wants to buy a pair, maybe DM me again and we could sort something out. But so far so good, and I'm really pleased with my 3D printing prowess so far, and I'm keeping this old truck alive, which is good. Well, I hope you like that little update with the Clod and the Brute. I'm quite impressed with my, not so much impressed actually, but pleased. I'm quite pleased with my 3D printing. The body posts on the Clod have held up really well. I've scraped them a few times this afternoon, and the drive shafts on the Big Brute are holding up pretty well as well after well over an hour of runtime under them, so they've hardly got any wear on them at all, so that's good. And the spotlight's holding up, being of new plastic, so that's really good. Like I say, I might be, if you fancy some of those items, give me a shout. We might be able to sort something out. This time next week it will be Boxing Day, so I'm not sure how I'm going to get this video out before Christmas. If I do get this video out before Christmas, a very happy Christmas to you, or very Merry Christmas to you out there, and whatever thing you celebrate. If I don't get it out to you before Christmas, then I wish you a Happy New Year. And if I don't get it out to you before then I hope you've had a good New Year, and hope 2022 is better than 2021. So, anyway, that's all for now. Ciao for now.